Are you looking for a quick routine that can increase vocabulary, decoding accuracy, and reading fluency rates drastically? Then this video is for you. Hello, I'm Rebecca the Reading Hacker, and I'm a neurodivergent former struggling reader, dedicated to helping struggling readers crack the reading code and find confidence with reading. This is part 2 of my Morpheme drill breakdown, requested by you, the audience. Yes, if you have ideas of strategies you want to learn or topics that you need more information on so you can support your struggling learner, drop it in the comments below. I will do my best to do as many videos about what you need to help you make your learner successful. In part 1, we went over how to orthographically map morphemes. Morphemes are the smallest unit of meaning in a language, and we went through how to directly teach that through orthographic mapping. In this video, we're going to do 3 things. We're going to teach you the routine on how to actually practice this, literally no more than 5 minutes a night. Suggestions to help with retention, and how this can drastically impact and support English language learners or multilingual learners. Remember, using morphemes, we are going to be leaning into our struggling learner superpower of being able to memorize small words. One of the things in my teaching and in my practice with my clients and students, I find it very important that we don't just look at the negative or the deficits. We look at what they are strong in, and we lean into that, and we build up from that. Because if we're always working from a negative, it's double the work for the learner and for us as well. And just to put this out there, morphemes are also called by their common words as prefixes, roots, and suffixes. I just like to use the word morphemes as a catch-all term so that kids and adults don't have to memorize or know 3 other words. So here is my morpheme routine that you can do 5 minutes a night. That's all you need to do, okay? When you've taught the word, you've said it, as we just previously showed. You're going to have them write it, and then you're going to have them spell it. So I'll show them my deck, and I'll be like, alrighty, what's the word? And they'll say, aqua. And then I'll say to them, what does aqua mean? Water. I go a step further. I said, give me an example. Aquarium. Meant. What does it mean? Turns a word into a noun. All right, give me an example of a noun with the word meant. Apartment. It's a place. Pre. Pre means before. Give me an example of a word that has that in it. And a lot of times some of the kids will be like, you know, the pregame show before the Super Bowl. Like, exactly. What we're doing is we are asking for meaning. We are asking them to connect to something that they know. We're asking them to read it and connect all those things. And then what you're going to do is you're going to have them write it. So you'll take your cards and you go, okay, look at my mouth. Always have them look at your mouth. Okay, and say the word. Meant. Now, sometimes if they're really struggling, you might have to really enunciate or like really emphasize meant. But don't start off with that first, because you want them to be able to do it just with hearing the word. And of course, they're going to write the word and show it to you. Now, if there's an error, then what you're going to do is you'll show them the word and you'll have them write it 3 times, saying the sounds. Meant. Okay, some people have them say the letters. That can work too. I like to have them say the sounds because I really want them to visually see the letter, and then I want them to hear the sound and to say the sound, so they're connecting all these things together. That is multisensory. Now, using these morphemes in your blending drill, I'm going to link below, and you can go back to my blending drill video. It's in my Orton-Gillingham series. I went over all 3 parts of the Orton-Gillingham drills that you can do at home to help with your struggling learner. But if you go through that video, I take you step by step on how to blend with morphemes. So another hint of something I do to help struggling older readers really memorize and connect those weird spellings that are in morphemes is I tell them the history of the word. No, I'm serious. They actually it really helps them to connect. So a lot of English is based off of Latin, Greek, and something called Anglo-Saxon, which is the language from like England and so forth, around that area. And when I tell them what they come from or where they come from, students sometimes find it interesting and remember. And I make a point to say it all the time. So like if I'm giving them a word like graph, which has PH in it, and I go, oh, PH, you know, that's that Greek sprinkling in on our language. What I'll actually do at the beginning of the school year, or when I'm beginning with a new client, is I draw a big pot and I write Greek, Latin, and Anglo-Saxon in it. And we talk about their favorite kind of soups. And I say, in a wonderful soup, or for some of my Spanish speakers, pozole, I'll say, what different things do you put in there? And they'll say all the different kinds of meats and vegetables and different things. And I said, well, English is kind of like that. It's a mixture of a whole bunch of different kind of languages. And spelling is based off of the history of that word. All right, let's just say it. When struggling older readers come in contact with longer words, phonics is just not enough. You need to mix in morphemes, morphology, the study of morphemes, to help them get through the longer words. Morphemes give students clues about meaning, decoding shortcuts, and spelling patterns that help them break down and conquer and build confidence with those long academic vocabulary. If you're a parent or a teacher of an older struggling learner, make sure to subscribe. This channel is all about understanding what's happening really in the reading brain and supporting older struggling learners. And the reason we read the word, spell the word, explain the word is that we are engaging all the systems at once. This helps to reduce cognitive overload for many struggling readers. And you're going to come to find that you're going to have them blend many nonsense words. And I've also commented before, nonsense words are very important because they need to be able to read longer words that have longer word parts. And honestly, any word's a nonsense word until you learn the meaning of it. Just saying. One of my things I like to do with one of my clients is when we make nonsense words, I take the meaning of the morphemes and I say, okay, let's make up a meaning for it. And they really get into some really silly or out there kind of definitions for some of their nonsense words. And it helps to reinforce that these word parts have meaning and add to the sentence. And it just gives them another tool in their toolbox. This method can also help support English language learners or multilingual learners, depending on what stage you're in. They change titles. Sometimes, depending on the language that the student originally speaks, there might be something called a cognate, which are words that are the same in one language and in the other. And there are word parts that are cognates as well. Like for Spanish speakers, mal. Mal means bad in Spanish. So the word malicious is something that they should be able to pick up on if you teach mal. And you can actually say, now, multilingual learners, lean into your superpower of knowing another language. I actually had something the other day. I was working with one of my clients that's multilingual and struggles with reading, and we came across the word mortality. And I said, hey, what is the Spanish word for death? And they were like, well, muerte. And I said, okay, well, look at that. What does that word mean then? And they saw mortality and they go, oh, does it have to do with death? And we had a whole discussion about that. That's why it's really important for the teacher or the tutor or whoever's working with the child to understand where the word comes from. And that's as easy as Googling it or asking ChatGPT or Google Gemini or Claude or talking to any AI system. And they can break it down for you and tell you why a word is said the way it's said. And sometimes that can really, really help multilingual learners and native English speakers. We support vocabulary, decoding accuracy, and fluency rate. Anything can happen. So go ahead, crack the code, and unlock the reader.